What's up, guys? Welcome to the Fight Feature. I've got Johnny Stofko with me as always.
What's up, everyone?
Today we've got a special episode. Billy Dib and Youseef Dib are going to come on the show because both boys have fights coming up. So we just want to do a quick feature. Obviously, Billy was awesome in his first time he came in. So we've got a good connection with Billy. So we just wanted to give both boys a bit of support.
Yeah, and Youseef, he's a busy man these days, a busy kid. He has a fight in a couple days, and he has a fight. He's fighting on the undercard of his brother's fight at the end of the month. So we're excited to see where their head's at.
Yeah, it'll be a great perspective. Obviously, the young bull and the old bull, and now Billy's managing Youseef. So we'll tap both boys in terms of some knowledge, and we'll keep sharing the love with all the audience.
Excellent, man. Yeah, very excited about this. See the dynamic, especially the bond between brothers and the bond between a champion and basically his, I don't want to say his son, but his little brother. So, yeah, let's do this.
Just a big shout out to everyone that has been supporting us of late. So if you're one of those guys that have been, liking, sharing, all the stuff that we've been putting on social media, so then, the rest of your network can kind of see the type of people that we bring in, because the people we bring in are the guys that we know can educate and inspire people out there, because on a daily basis, we're both lucky we have each other, that we both pick each other up, but not a lot of people have that. And if it could be something that maybe a guy like Billy Dib can say, or one of the other guys.
That's the importance, man. That's why I do this. That's why you do this. It's a platform. It's an opportunity for positivity and inspiration and support. I'm going to give a shout out right now before the show even gets kicked off to a colleague of mine, Sarah. She liked and shared one of our posts the other day. Super awesome. Hopefully that'll give us a little bit of momentum, a little bit of support we need, because we're all just collectively doing this together. Everybody is connected. We need the support. So subscribe, 5-star rating, iTunes, SoundCloud. Let's rock and roll.
That's definitely. And just a quick shout out to our sponsors, both Jack Rabbit Slim's Barbershop and the Organic Trainer. You got a little flask in front of you.
Yeah, check the Organic Trainer out, the glass flask, at www.theorganictrainer.com. You'll find it's an exercise tea and recovery company. They have a couple different flavors at the moment.
I had the hibiscus. Sorry to cut you off the other day.
Oh, dude, the hibiscus is excellent. I like doing it with iced. And it's all natural. It's a Sydney-based company. They're actually getting ready for the Expo Philex in Melbourne in the next upcoming months. But right now, you can check them out at their website. The flask is on there. The flavors are on there. There's a little outline about what the company represents, all natural products. When you're proceeding to the checkout, use code word The Vision Board to receive 10% off of all of your purchases. This is for all the ones living in Sydney, Australia. Our second sponsor is Jack Rabbit Slim's Barbershop. Nothing beats a good barber. I talk about this all the time. You trust a guy with a blade to your neck, man. You can probably trust him with anything. Fades me up. Call Dre. He'll leave you feeling fresh and focused. Definitely set an appointment up with Jack Rabbit Slim's Barbershop, Sydney, Australia.
Yes, definitely. All right, guys. Here's the Dib brothers.
It makes me wanna creep. I got something for your mind, your body, and your soul. I got something for your mind, your body, and your soul.
The Vision Board Podcast, hosted by Johnny Stofko and Tristan Cannell.
All right, our special guests today, we've got the Dib brothers. We've got Billy and Youseef Dib. Obviously, Billy, 2-time world champion. Youseef's just made his professional debut, winning his first fight. We welcome the Dib brothers. Welcome, boys.
Thanks a lot. Thanks for having us.
No worries at all. It's great to have you back, Billy, and we're really excited. Obviously, February 26th, the big date of your comeback. You've got the Thai Suksan Kretsyong Youth. I think that's how you pronounce it. He's 13-4. He's got 8 knockouts. You're fighting at super featherweight. What do you know about your opponent, Bill?
I mean, look, he's been in there with some good talent over his last couple of fights. He's held his own. I know that he's, anyone that comes out and fights Billy Dib is going to step it up. So, as good as he is, he's going to be better when he gets out here because he's fighting Billy Dib. So, I'll be prepared and I'll be ready.
Awesome, Bill. And obviously, it's your comeback fight from that world title that you had last year. Is there anything that you're changing up in terms of your game? What are you and Billy Hussein been working on at the moment?
We haven't really been working a lot, to be honest. We're just gonna be Billy Dib, Go out there and just be himself, and then hopefully, that's gonna be enough to get a great victory. During the fight against Mira, Billy Dib was winning the fight, and then unfortunately I got caught, and that's boxing. You get caught, and 10 seconds later the fight's over. But that's the way it goes, and that's the way the cookie crumbles. But I'm sure that I'm gonna be leaps and bounds in front of this Sukasam guy.
Excellent. Billy, this is Johnny, man. How you doing?
Good, thanks. How you doing?
Good, man. So, question for you. So, we're looking in the present and then a little media into the future. So, in the next couple weeks, you're going to win this fight. Looking ahead, are you looking to make a big splash in America, or are you going to keep it local for a little bit?
No, I think at this stage I'm just going to keep it local at this moment, and then maybe a couple of fights in Australia, and then hopefully if opportunities open up, and which they will, because everyone wants to fight a former world champion. If an opportunity opens up to fight in America and it's a good fight, then I'll take it. So I'm sure the doors will open up after this fight, but I'm going to stay home for a little while.
Awesome, man. We saw the piece. I'm sure everybody listening saw the piece in the paper the other day. It was excellent. Being as humble as you are, opening up about some things. With your brother right next to you, man, and looking back on, the last couple years when you were, the world champion, selling out arenas in America, what's the best bit of advice you could give Youseef right now?
Man, just to stay focused and stay humble, and learn from our mistakes. Throughout my career, I was managed by my brother Emad, who really didn't know much about the sport of boxing. And to go on to win 2 world titles and not know much about the sport, I think that's a pretty good achievement. But we know a lot now, and I'm sure we're going to guide my younger brother Youseef in the right direction. And all I can tell him is just to stay focused and take each fight at a time.
Awesome. Bill, one question we had for you both. How many brothers are actually fighting at the moment? Because Bilal is also your brother, correct?
No, Bilal's my cousin.
Your
So
cousin.
I got my cousin Bilal, my cousin Ahmed, and my younger brother Youseef.
Wow.
So there's 4 Dibs that are currently fighting at the moment.
And all fighting at a high level and all killing it out there.
Yeah, we're all doing our best, man.
Who wins that round robin tournament, though?
Nah, I don't think that's allowed.
Come on, man.
But look, the funny thing is that both me and Bilal are both fighting at featherweight, and it's funny because, I've always been rated very highly in the world, and now my cousin's rated much more higher than I am, so it's quite funny.
Excellent, man. So in terms of your nutrition and your training, getting ready for a fight, do you guys, we talked to a lot of different athletes, mixed martial artists, wrestlers, judokas. In the realm of boxing, when you guys are approaching fight week, are you changing anything up, with your cut? Are you changing anything up? Are you avoiding anything? Or are you just keeping it, maintaining things throughout the whole camp?
You know what? I'll be honest with you. It's more or less a lot of discipline throughout the whole camp. So if you're preparing for a fight, let's just say you're preparing for 6 weeks. Well, then for that 6 weeks, you're going to be really disciplined. Obviously the diet changes a little bit, and you become more consistent with what you're eating and what you're drinking. So it definitely does change. And then when the fights are over, we have a little splurge out, and then we're back to business again.
Yeah. Is Youseef Youseef, what's up, man? It's Johnny.
How you doing, Johnny?
What's up? Are you gonna be on that card at the end of the month?
Yeah, I am. So I'm fighting tomorrow night in Perth, Western Australia, and I'm backing up hopefully 2 weeks later fighting on Billy's undercard.
Yeah,
which is pretty much a dream come true for me, man.
I saw that. Tristan and I, we weren't sure. We were like, we saw it was written that you were fighting in the next couple days, and then slated to be on that undercard. So have you ever fought on the same card with Billy?
Nah, this will be my first time, so this has been a long-term goal of mine, I always wanted to turn pro a little early so that I could get on the same card as Billy, Obviously, he's coming towards, the twilight of his career, so to be able to get this opportunity is massive for me,
Yeah. Do you remember, were you at the fight when Billy won his first world title?
I was. I've been at pretty much all of Billy's fights except for, unfortunately, 2 of his losses. So,
all right.
Yeah, I've been pretty much at every other one of them.
Youseef, what's Billy, in terms of obviously Billy's been one of your major mentors growing up, what's the number one thing that Billy's shown you and that you kind of use in your everyday life, man?
Just hard work, I saw exactly what it takes to, get to that stage of his career, to get to that level. I saw what he had to do and the amount of sacrifices he had to make, and, that's what I try to take out of it. And obviously, there have been little things that I've seen that he does wrong that I try to, cut out of my game, but mostly it's been hard work and dedication to the sport. He loves the sport with a passion, and, that's something that I took out of it.
Yeah. So Youseef, this is for you. Tristan and I, we're both involved in the wellness and fitness industry, and in this industry, I would say maybe every 5 years it evolves. You always have to be constantly learning new things and trying different techniques. In the realm of boxing, from when you were younger watching Billy train to now you being in it and training, are you mimicking what he used to do and would still do, or are you doing anything differently?
It's different because we're kind of different styles, and you know, he's got the really amazing reflexes and you know, the amazing hand speed and all those kinds of things. With me, and you know, when he came on with Billy Hussein took him back to the fundamentals of boxing, you know, and made him a really solid boxer. And I think me starting my career out with Billy Hussein, I have taken a lot of that technical stuff, and you know, I don't think I'm as blessed as Billy in the talent department, but definitely, you know, in terms of technique and stuff, I try my best to get it right, you know.
Yeah.
So,
is there a specific guy, a boxer that you grew up watching that you could kind of like, that you would say your style mimics?
well, it's a tough question, you know, because there's so many great boxers that I've watched, and you know, I want to be a bit like them. And I think one of the boxers that I really like when he boxes is Arturo Gatti. You know, obviously not when he goes into his war mode, but when he boxes, you know, the second Mickey Ward fight, the way that he was able to outbox him, that's the kind of style that I like.
Awesome. What do you think your main strengths are? 'Cause I saw you're quite tall. You're about 178 centimeters. Is that correct?
Yeah. So I think probably my main strength is I think my boxing brain, being able to pick my shots well, and you know, trying to counter. So there's always things to work on, but I think they're my main strengths.
Definitely. Youseef, when did you first put the gloves on? How old were you?
We first tried to give it a go when I was about 14 years old, but it didn't work out. It was pretty tough to get opponents based on the fact that I was Billy Dib's younger brother.
Yeah.
So I gave it up, and then I got back into it when I was around 17, and I haven't looked back since then.
Awesome. What are you finding now that you're in the pros? You've had one pro fight. Did you have to make any adjustments in terms of style? Because I know you're working with both Billy, your brother, and Billy Hussein as well. What have you changed since you've come up?
There hasn't been too much of a change. It's just been more about sitting down and, you know, trying to stay low and avoiding, you know, getting my chin up high. It's a bit of a slower game than in the amateurs. It's very fast paced in the amateurs, but I think I've always been more suited to the pro style, so I didn't really change too much.
Excellent. So this is for both of you guys. So let's fast forward a little bit. Night before the fight, what's that? Are you guys in a hotel room? Are you your house? What are you guys doing to prepare for the night before that fight?
You mean the next fight, the show that's taking place at the Bank Sandy Forum on the 26th. We're basically, you know, we're in the comfort of our own home. You know, I think a fighter is at his best when he's in the comfort of his own home. So, you know, we'll just be at home, chilling out with mum and dad, and then hopefully head over to the arena on Friday night and do the business.
Awesome. Bill, obviously you had to pull out of your fight back in January in London. You had your hand injury. Was that a bit of a blessing in disguise?
Yeah, it definitely was a blessing in disguise. You know, I feel after all the stuff that I've kind of been through that it may have been a bit too much to head overseas and fight in front of a big crowd like that. So, you know, we're back home. There's no cameras. There's no lights. It's just low key. It's at a venue that it makes it comfortable for all of us, and hopefully we're going to all go out there and have some fun.
Yeah, definitely. Bill, you have been very, very brave over the last week or so, really opening up in the media about everything you've experienced last year. What advice would you have to the people out there in terms of dealing with adversity when it comes your way, man?
You know what? One piece of advice that I've got is that, you know, everything's going to be okay. No matter how tough the road gets ahead, everything's going to be alright, because, you know, you just got to believe that everything happens for a reason, and that God does everything for a reason. And, you know, if you got God in your life, I guess you're going to be alright.
That's excellent. Billy, so your little brother a couple minutes ago said that you're in the twilight of your career. I think you're only 30. If we use Bernard Hopkins as an example, B-Hop, maybe he's still, B-Hop's 137 years old. He's still fighting. So I guess my question is, Billy, you being your age now, and if we had time travel possible, what would you tell a 20-year-old version of yourself?
Oh, man. If the 20-year-old version of myself knew that I was going to be world champion, I would have been ecstatic, because that was the only thing that I ever wanted to do as a young kid, was to be be world champion. So at this stage, when you're asking me, like, you know, how long do I feel like I have left in the sport, I guess it's just one fight at a time. You know, if I'm winning and I'm happy, then I'm going to continue to fight. But, you know, I'm not going to become somebody's punching bag, and I'm not going to become somebody's opponent.
Just want to get your opinion just on a couple of fights coming up, and just one that came just through. Obviously with David Haye. Did you get a chance to watch his first round stoppage?
Yeah, I did, man. He demolished that guy.
Yeah, he was meant to be an Aussie, like an Aussie-Croatian guy or something, but he was looking pretty good. Where do you reckon David will go in the next kind of couple of years? Do you reckon he's still a contender?
Man, I think David Haye's a very special talent. You know, if you look at the skills that David Haye has in the sport of boxing, he's a very, very talented guy, and I just feel that, you know what, sky's the limit to him. There's so many big fights out there. You know, there's Anthony Joshua. That's a major showdown in the UK, and then you've got, obviously, you know, he's a chance to fight for the heavyweight championship of the world. You know, he can fight Tyson Fury. There's so many. There's like the heavyweight division's opened up now, and I think, you know, now that Klitschko's been beaten and some of the titles are, you know, being held by other fighters, you know, the sport of boxing is alive in the heavyweight division.
Definitely, man. Another fight I want to touch base on: Canelo Alvarez versus Amir Khan. Any opinion on that one?
You know what? I guess, you know what, it's a really dangerous fight. You know, I mean, for Amir Khan, I know that there's a lot of money at stake and all that sort of stuff, but, you know, I think in my opinion, Amir Khan's like, he's bit off more than he can chew. You know, in terms of giving away size, he's giving away so much size, and you know, and Canelo Alvarez, he just showed how much of a great fighter he was in that fight against Rico Cotto. So, you know, I'm just hoping that Amir Khan definitely brings his A game. Look, I definitely want Amir Khan to win. I'd love for Amir Khan to win, but, you know, if you're asking me for my prediction, I've got to go with Canelo. But I really do hope that Amir wins the fight.
Yeah. What about on the local scene? The possibility of Anthony Mundine and Danny Green fighting at 80 kilos. Do you reckon that's a fair fight there?
I don't think you're going to see a fight between Anthony Mundine and Danny Green at 80 kilos. Maybe at 82, if Danny Green gets what he wants at 82, then I guess you'll probably see it, because the money is way too big and they just can't turn it down. But it's not. I don't think the fight's going to get made at 80 kilos. I just don't think that happens.
Yeah, you just don't think Danny can make the weight down there?
No, it's just Danny doesn't want to make that weight. You know, it's like, you know, he's more or less saying that if Mundine doesn't come up to 82, then he doesn't care about the fight.
Yeah, fair enough. Just a couple of questions just before we wrap it up, guys. We've just got a question I've been asking everyone. Just a bit of a personality question, boys. It's for both of you, one at a time. If either of you to host a dinner party, boys, you've got 5 invites. Dead or alive, you can't pick any of your family or friends, just people like you kind of just love and just, you know, admired growing up. Who would they be?
Alright, I'll start. I'll go number 1, probably Muhammad Ali. Number 2 would be Arturo Gatti. He's gone, but I really admired him. Number 3, wow. Yeah, you gotta bring Sylvester Stallone. Chris Dean.
Man. He's underrated. He's a beast.
2 more, Youseef?
2 more, okay. I'll get Floyd Melvin to come. Maybe we'll bring some money with him. And let's go somebody outside of boxing. Yeah, you know what? Maybe Samuel L. Jackson, just because he's got a really, really
Did
cool
you guys
voice.
did you see Hateful Eight?
Nah, I haven't seen it yet.
I went to see it last night, actually. Dude, Samuel L. Jackson is at his finest in that one. Go see it. You'll like it.
Definitely gonna check it out.
Hey, Bill, now you've got 5, man.
Alright, man. This is my lineup's a funny lineup, man. I got David Kevin Hart.
Yeah.
You got to bring Kevin Hart because he's funny.
Did you guys see
You gotta
Shane on the
bring-
weekend?
Yeah, nah, I didn't get the chance to go over, man. But you got to get Sylvester Stallone, man, because that was like my childhood hero.
Yeah, same.
If it wasn't for Sylvester Stallone, I never would have boxed. You know, and Rocky was the man.
Definitely, man.
So then I definitely have Muhammad Ali as well. So that's 3. And I'd have Al Pacino. That's 4. You know what? I want Martin Lewis's King. And I'd have Princess Singh. That'd be my 5.
Cool, man. Guys, especially for you, Youseef, where can the people find you on social media and online, man?
At the moment, I'm on Facebook under my name, Youseef Dib, so YOUSSEFDIB, and my Instagram is UWEE_DIB.
No worries. And then Billy, you're Billy the Kid Dib on pretty much across all your social medias, man?
Yeah, it's just at Billy Dib. At Billy Dib.
Awesome. Just one more question, just about the fights on February 26th. Is that going to be a closed sort of arena, or is there tickets going to be on sale, man?
I mean, look, if you get down to the venue, if you're lucky enough, there might be a couple of tickets, but it looks like it's selling out pretty quick.
Cool. And where can people purchase tickets? Is that online as well?
You can purchase tickets, I guess, at the venue, you know what I mean? That's probably the best place to get them, at the venue, at the Emporium in Bankstown.
Cool.
Or just hit Billy up on Facebook, hit me up on social media and work something out for you.
No, it's definitely, because we've got a whole heap of guys from the gym wanting to come down and support the Dib boys.
Yeah, gentlemen, we got like at least 10 people who want to come, so, and then whoever else is listening, so yeah, we'll send you a message.
Alright, send us a message, man, and let us know.
No, definitely. Well, Billy and Youseef, thank you so much for your time, guys.
Yeah, man, thank you, gentlemen.
And Youseef, all the best of luck for your fight tomorrow, man.
Thank you very much, appreciate it.
Alright, guys, take care, gentlemen.
Have a good one.
Bye.
Yeah.
Dib boys.
Yeah, the Dib boys. It's pretty interesting too, though. Like, I grew up. The hometown I grew up is a boxing town, and with a boxing town comes stereotypes and stigmas and false pretenses of what fighters are supposed to be like. And you always see that, the movie guy hard on his luck, isolated, nobody's around him. And then you meet Billy Dib and Youseef Dib and the Dib family, and it's this family dynamic, this backbone, this support system. And I think it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, the boys are very down to earth.
Yes.
I really like the way that Billy has grounded his brother. You can tell that the respect level, despite the age difference, because I'm thinking Youseef's about 20 or something.
Yeah.
Bill's 30.
Yeah, it's like a lion in his pride.
Definitely.
The leader, the pack wolf leads the way,
and you can tell that their parenting has been very, very strong, because he spoke about it last time with all the good,
with his father.
Yeah, the stuff his father's both taught him.
Yeah, the thing that resonates with me the most about that story when Billy was chatting about the Olympics, and he was at the time he had the opportunity to fight for his dad's country, where his dad was born, Palestine, and his dad told him, if you can't make it for Australia, how you would be viewed, and he was really upset at the time, and he said in hindsight how brilliant and wise his father was, and you could just see that being passed down and passed down. It's an awesome thing.
Can you imagine having a big brother like Billy and because Billy's experienced it all, so he's got that 10-year gap where he passes down that knowledge now to Youseef. So the same mistakes that he made, Youseef won't be kind of on that same.
Yeah, but that's a double-edged sword too, though, because that idea, that logic is saying that the younger one will listen. So it takes, yes, you have the opportunity for Billy to give his wisdom, but for the younger people, Youseef, whoever's listening, if you have older siblings or you're the younger one, you still have to be willing to listen. Some people are just wired differently. Some people would just hear that and say, you know what, you've gone this way, I want to do my own path, and I'll just not listen to anything you say. So I think it shows a little bit of wise beyond his years too, to be 20 years old in that discipline. I mean, what were you doing at 20?
20, I was in university.
Yeah, I was a lunatic at 20.
Footy, uni, and just
savage.
partying.
Yeah, just 100%, man.
But the discipline, I saw on his Instagram the other night, he was running on a Saturday night.
Yeah.
He was doing his road work on a Saturday night. That's the discipline of the young kid.
Yeah, so. Road work, man. And that's the thing, too, with the boxers. And it seems like it's just this equation. It's to be a champion, it's not like this magical, formula. It's the things that worked in the 1900s
Still
with
awesome.
Guys like, Sugar Ray Robinson. And hit your road work, do your pave work, hit the gym, hit the pads, and spar.
Awesome, like with sparring, you were talking about sparring, road work. But it's still old school. Tell what I love about boxing, combat sports.
Yep.
It's still the same. Like, apart from the glove sizes, it's still the same. Like, if you watch, for me, rugby league in Australia.
Yeah.
From the game now and the game I grew up with, two totally different sports.
Is it?
They've changed the rules, and because it went from professional to unprofessional. It went from amateur to professional.
Yeah.
It's just totally changed the way the sport's played, and what we saw when we were younger is not what we see today.
All right, so I don't want to offend anyone here, but that I didn't know that. I have only seen rugby when I moved here 2 years ago, and I think there's a really big problem in the NRL. I'm just going to throw this out there because I might go on a rant about lack of professionalism, and that's it right there. Then if this used to be an amateur sport, you know what? I was at dinner in Neutral Bay, and I'm not going to say names. And this was last season. There was a guy who plays high profile guy. We're sitting on the patio, and this guy comes up, and my buddy's like, "Oh, that's so and so. He plays for this NRL team," and he's chugging a beer out of his trunk, and he throws the beer bottle on the ground.
Yeah,
And
unfortunately.
I'm like, these are your professional athletes? Where is the system in place for these 18, 19-year-olds to upskill themselves about being a professional, interviewing, being role models, and next thing you know, you have guys, videos, surfacing on social media of, I don't want to get too negative, but you know what I'm getting at.
It's a massive problem in the Australian society in terms of rugby league players playing up, and we'll talk more about it when we've got Anthony Mundine on. He's coming on next, and he's been a guy that doesn't smoke, doesn't drink, and doesn't do drugs. And see, the problem with Australian, it's become a bit of a boys' club.
Like a locker room type setting.
A boys' club meaning that it doesn't matter who you are. Like, you can misbehave, you can treat girls the way you want, and no one else will put you into line.
I noticed
That's a huge problem.
I noticed that when I first moved here a couple years ago in the workplace. I noticed that at night there's the catcalling. I think it reminds me of like what you see in film in America from like the 1950s. There's no accountability. There's no especially in the regards of like Mundine, for instance. I knew Mundine's famous everywhere, and I was always a fan of him. I couldn't believe when I got here that he wasn't like super universally like taken in.
If he was born in America, he would
couldn't
be one of the
this guy
most
on
popular people, because
this guy on paper, two-time-
Australians don't like that sort of boastful.
I put all that aside, and I think that he should, I was always a fan because he was vocal about not partying, not drinking, living this way of honor and honorable.
Yeah,
and
most definitely. He's super respectful towards women and a lot of different things like that other rugby league players are. So it'll be good to tap his head in terms of how he handled it, because there's a good chance that he was an outcast when he was playing, because he realistically didn't do what the other guys did. So
yeah, his father was he a professional
professional boxer.
Okay, so and he went the rugby route, and then he became
Yeah.
Was that correct on that?
Yep.
Yeah, because I only knew him as a boxer. But you talk to guys around the locker room and in the gym, and you'll hear like 5 different opinions of Mundine. I'm like, if you're gonna judge a man on anything but his actions.
Yeah.
So like, I was raised, titles don't matter. Strip away the name, the title. All that matters is while you're walking, the footsteps, the path you take, and your actions left behind are going to be left of who you were about. And his actions, what he's done, he's been successful on both platforms, and he treats people well.
Yeah, at the end of the day, like Anthony he's a showman, and he does have a big mouth in terms of promoting his own fights. I don't think a lot of the things coming out of his mouth in terms of the fighting bits, that's just promotion. Do you know what I mean? He's a master of actual marketing, because
business.
No one wanted to take the bad guy road, so he did it. You can't have 2 good guys in an Australian fight. We just don't have the population to sell a fight.
Yeah, that's interesting too.
Do you know what I mean? He's just a master of marketing. Like, a lot of people that I've spoken to have said, what you see on Anthony on camera is not what you see in person. So we'll find out tomorrow.
Did you hear about I watched the Shane Mosley Mundine fight a couple of years ago. Did you hear about the rumors about that fight? That Mosley came into that fight hurt.
Yeah, he was.
And he like wobbled around for I think in the 4th or the 3rd he finally
stopped in the 5th because
the lower back. Yeah, but he could barely walk like going into the fight.
No,
something along those lines.
Yeah,
Did you hear about
that's
that?
the excuse Shane. But Shane's been using a lot of excuses for a long time.
He needs to hang up. That's another thing.
He's a great fighter.
It's tough though. Who were we were talking to Austin.
What do you do when you finish?
Yeah, and Austin was like, I was like, when do you hang him up? And he's like, you never know if that guy needs to fight.
And
whether it's monetary value, whether it's spiritual, that's all he knows.
How many commentators can you have? There's only a certain select guys. Like Roy Jones, I'm not sure why he's still fighting. He's an actual commentator.
Dude, I don't even want to get into that one. That one hurts me watching him fight.
Yeah, because he was the best that I've seen.
Of all time. In his prime of all time. I think he was, in that small amount of window, maybe 4 or 5 years. His movement, that jumping left hook, the way he threw punches at angles, it was just ridiculous.
Yeah, he was like a jumping kangaroo. He had punches from everywhere, that dude. Anyway, that's awesome interview with the Dib brothers. So just repeating, guys, if you do want to go on the fight, we're going to have... obviously, just get in touch. We might be able to put you in touch with the boys, or contact them directly on social media. They are very active on their social media, so they will answer you. They answer messages. So do support the boys. Both, obviously, Billy, one of our best, 2-time world champion. Now we've got Youseef on the rise, so it'll be great to get behind both boys.
Yeah, you brought up an interesting fact about Billy. I talked about, I was shocked that Billy wasn't even here in Sydney. He's a Sydney guy, more well-renowned as well, and you said he kind of got the bad luck of timing, because while he was a champion, you had
Mundine,
Mundine,
Danny Green moved from Perth.
Yeah, it wasn't just like
Vic
he was...
Darchinian. And
Was Archinian a champ?
Yeah, he was.
Okay.
He was like 3-time world champ. That's Phoenix. Remember
Yeah.
when Jeff came on? He said that was
It's crazy in population wise how many
Yeah,
Australia's
and then there was
boxing culture.
Daniel Gill as well.
Who is the godfather of the Australian boxer? Like who's attributed to that?
Jeff.
It's Fennick.
Yeah.
And he put it before Fennick. There wasn't a champion.
There was, but Lionel Rose would be
Okay.
the guy before that. He was probably the most famous Aboriginal boxer.
Okay.
Probably one of the Anthony's idols. So
Oh, yeah.
we'll speak to him.
Interesting.
About that
Speaking of
tomorrow.
Aboriginal boxers, so this is just an offer for you on the table.
Mm-hmm.
A friend of mine, he runs this huge reserve, and he works with an Aboriginal gentleman named Bob, and he offered for us to go down there, and Bob will teach us how to make fires.
Cool.
And I was like, dude, that's
Oh,
awesome.
that's awesome.
I was like, I have zero.
I'm a little bit scared
I
because
have-
you might try to start.
Think
some
about
fires.
this though. I think I'm going to speak for myself, but I have zero survival skills. I don't know how to plant anything. I don't know how to catch anything. I can't start a fire. And these are things that generations ago my family knew how to do. Your family knew how to do. Nowadays we have iPhones. I know how to press a button.
You know what?
So I need to upskill myself. Survival
You're
mode.
probably right. My old man can do anything around the house.
Oh,
I'm
dude.
dead set. I'm hanging just even opening a can of tomatoes.
Dude, I can't even put bait on my fishing hook. I am absolutely worthless.
We've become
Yeah.
a little.
Don't say it.
Very precious.
Yeah,
We're very precious.
precious. Yeah, man. Opposite of useful.
Definitely. All right, man. So, obviously, we've got some big guests coming up. We won't spoil it, but just a big shout out to our sponsors, both Jackrabbit Slims and The Organic Trainer.
Yeah, sponsoring this episode of the Vision Board Podcast. Our first sponsor is The Organic Trainer. Check them out at www.theorganictrainer.com for all of your exercise, tea, and recovery needs. While you're checking on their website, they also have an awesome trainer flask. This flask, it's a glass flask. It allows you to put the tea. I like using the recovery tea. It's chamomile flavor. In the flask, you add the water and you just take it with you, so it makes things more efficient. You can take it with you in the gym. As you're proceeding to the checkout, use code word TheVisionBoard to receive 10% off of all of your purchases. Second sponsor for this episode, Jackrabbit Slim's Barbershop. If you're living in the Sydney, Australia area, King's Cross, Potts Point, check out Dre at Jackrabbit Slim's Barbershop. One thing, be sure to make an appointment. He's always booked. I actually have it booked every fortnight, Friday morning, so I got to stay clean and faded. He'll leave you feeling fresh.
You're always free fresh, man.
Yeah, man, you got to keep it gangsta.
You have a great week, man.
You too, TK.
All right, we'll speak soon.
Yep.
Peace.
It makes me wanna breathe.
I got something for your mind, your body, and your soul. I got something for your mind, your body, and your soul.
The Vision Board Podcast, hosted by Johnny Stofko and Tristan Cannell.